Hey y'all, sorry we are so late getting started. It is my fault, technical difficulties. But we are finally here. We made it for Michael Scott Clifton's launch of Cavern of the Veil Queen, which is Conquest of the Veil series, book 4. And it is a awesome book because I just finished it. Because tomorrow starts his Lone Starlit blog tour, and guess who is stop number 1 with the review? So, yes, definitely excited. Before we start, and before I introduce everybody, there's a couple things we need to take care of. One of them is Mike has had this really cool YouTube thing going on where he had to get his YouTube above 100. He made it in like 2 weeks. So for the cover reveal, we went ahead and we passed out, I think 3 there, or was that 2? 2 or 3 there?
2, yeah.
2 there. So he decided that we're going to do 3 tonight since it's such a huge list. So we're going to knock those out first so I can clear the wheel, and I'll explain why in just a moment. So let me just share the screen. Here we go. Am I on there yet?
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so tell me when to start, Mike.
Go ahead.
Okay, so spin number 1. You have a choice between the Janus Witch on audiobook, or you have the other choice of the Treasure Hunt Club and audiobook, and it looks like it's going to Michael Olivella.
Olivella.
Awesome, congratulations. Okay, we're gonna go for number 2. You ready? Number 2 is going to Cass Shaddix. Awesome, congratulations. And Mike will contact these people and find out which ones that they want. And number 3, if it cooperates with me, is going to, yes, Elizabeth Duckford. Awesome, so congratulations, you guys. Mike will be getting in touch with you, and we will see which ones you want. You have the choice between the audiobook of The Janus Witch, or you also have the choice of the Treasure Hunt Club. Now, today, we're celebrating.
Froze up.
The book launch. So we're hoping with technology will continue to work with us. So in the meantime, Mike, can you tell us just a brief elevator pitch about the series? And then we'll go through and introduce everybody.
Okay, the Conquest of the Veil series, if you like high fantasy, sword and sorcery, epic fantasy, that's the kind of vibe it has. It's a story told over 4 books, and it's if you like sort of a Lord of the Rings vibe, and again epic fantasy. It's also very much a coming of age story about one of the main character. And anyway, that's about as short an elevator pitch as I can make.
That'll work. It's a unique series. It gives it a really cool twist to it, and I like how it turned out. But joining us today are each of these lovely authors, and
oops,
froze up again.
Mm-hmm.
I was bringing with that. I go away again. Okay, am I back?
Yeah. You're back.
Okay, awesome. Just you guys work with me with the technical difficulties today. Patty, tell everybody kind of briefly who you are.
Well, I'm Patty Wiseman. I've been writing published for about 12 years, and I do a little bit of everything. I live in Woodlawn, Texas. I have a children's book. I have a paranormal. I have historical fiction, and I'm married almost 30 years, and I'm from Seattle, Washington, actually. But I've been a Texan for over 40 years, so that's it in a nutshell.
What? Can you hear me now?
What?
She's done, CJ.
Okay. Next one is
I did it.
Dana Wayne.
Hello, I'm Dana Wayne, and I write award-winning romances, contemporary, Western historical, and romantic suspense. I'm a seventh-generation Texan, and I still live in the piney woods and still have the accent, and and I love it. So
Awesome. Next, we're going to head over to Mr. Michael Wigington.
I'm Michael Wigington. I'm from Tyler, Texas, and I write epic fantasy and sword and sorcery, and sometimes I dabble in post-apocalyptic and dystopian.
Very cool. Next, we have Mr. Stone Key.
Hi, my name is Stone Key. I actually live just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, although originally from Southern California, but I lived all over the world, all over the country, and been in Louisiana now for about 20 years. So I'm just getting to the point where I can pronounce pecan and things like that. So, you joke, but that's a pretty serious thing down here. So,
Times are serious business.
Yes, exactly. So, anyways, I write, basically urban fantasy, magic, wizards, warlocks is my modern warlock series, and I have another book called Death's Arbiter. It deals with angels and demons and death and reapers and stuff like that. On top of we also do we foster a lot of dogs, so I have a foster dog blog that's been going on for quite a while now.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir.
cool.
I am also one of the ones on the launch tonight. I am CJ Peterson, and I'm an author, blogger, podcaster, publisher, pretty much you name it. It has to go in the publishing world. I probably am either doing it or have done it. So somewhere in there. But I originally write big people books. That's how I started. And I'm a children's author by accident, is what I tell people. But yeah, I enjoy it, and we'll see what else we got going on. So Mike, that's me. Mike, so we'll start with you. What can you tell us about a little bit more about the Veil Queen, Cavern of the Veil, and about you yourself as an author?
Okay, well,
before we start, in case I get cut off, to enter, and each person is bringing with them a special prize. And to enter to win the prize, all you have to do is comment, and you will be entered in. Easy peasy. And we'll spin you in the wheel of names at the end. Okay, go for it, Mike.
Okay, so I live in Mount Pleasant, Texas, and I was in public education for 38 years as a teacher, coach, and an administrator. And I started writing about 12 years ago, seriously, after I retired for the last 4 or 5 years, 5 years actually. And I've had 7 books, 3 standalone novels, The Treasure Hunt Club, The Janus Witch, and Edison Jones and the Andy Grive Elevator. And of course, the 4 books in the Conquest of the Veil series. The Open Portal is the first book. Escape from Wheel is the second book. A Witch's Brew is the third book. And of course, the book that featuring today is Cavern of the Veil Queen, which is the 4th. And that's a sigh. Final book. Finally got the last book in the series. And anyway, it's been fun. And I know everybody here. I know Mike and you, CJ, and Stone Key are writing or have written series. But for me, myself, I'm taking a break from series writing for a while. And Patty. I'm going to just write standalone novels, I think, for a while and take a break from when it gets to the point where I have to have the stack of books I wrote prior to the 4th book next to me, like references. It's time to move on to, but I enjoyed it. And I'm really proud of the Cavern of the Veil Queen because I believe, and I did the best job I could on taking what was, like I said, an epic story and tying it up quite nicely, I think, with no loose ends. Gary may agree or disagree with that since he's read half or most of it anyway. But
I read all of it. I think you hit them all.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm proud of the finished product and very relieved. And it's a great series. I enjoyed writing it, but I am definitely glad that I've finally written the 4th book and I've got that finished and done.
Now, there's a cool twist to this book, and it won't be doing any spoilers if you share it. How does this sucker start? Because this series starts actually on Earth.
Yes. The main character is a bullied teenage high school senior who has reached the point where she has decided to commit suicide. I was in public education, like I said, 38 years. Really started to notice that quite a bit the last 6-8 years that I was in education, primarily because of social media. That's been the primary vehicle for most bullying. It's not in the old days where you kick sand in the guy's face or girl's face. It's over social.
Yeah, there's no escape. You can't escape it.
No. And we all know that teenagers and young people, they live and die by the social media, their phones, that sort of thing. So anyway, I wanted to take an anti-hero, which is this bullied girl, and see what would happen if she was given, or he or she, it could be, just as anti-hero. What would happen if they were given the means by which to do great things? Would they still shrink into the corner and be scared of everything and basically stay to themselves? Or were they capable of doing greater things if they had the confidence and the means to do so?
Yeah, her character arc was interesting to watch all the way through.
And that's why I said it's coming of age, because the main character, Mona Parker on Earth, Alexandra Duvalier as her alter ego on this world of Meredith, does definitely go through a stage from a scared young teenager to a young woman who actually has extraordinary abilities.
Yeah, it gets interesting. So I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, I got to read all 4. And so I got one's a little bit more hot off the presses than some. So I was pretty stoked. It was really well written. I can speak right now. I'm still flustered from all the technical difficulties we had. So anyway, so for tonight, what are you going to be giving away?
The audiobooks, as we talked about, and an autographed copy of The Open Portal. We talked earlier, the Cavern of the Veil Queen is the 4th book in the series, and I would be more than willing to give it away if someone has read the first 2 or 3 books. That happens to win, but I think it's better if we start with book 1, so that if you like the series, you can follow it from book to book. The 4th book's too much of a reach to start into.
Yeah, no, you need to start in the beginning. So awesome. So people want to find you online. How can they find you?
I have a website, www.michaelscottclifton.com, which is on the scrolling. Well, actually, it's right there at the bottom, but that's my website, and it has all the information of all the books. They're all on Amazon as well, but you can actually order books from a Square store I have on my website if you want an autographed copy, and it's going to cost you about the same amount of money that it would if you ordered them directly from Amazon, but it would be without the autograph.
Awesome. And do you have an online handle?
I do. Author MS Clifton, at Author MS Clifton, takes you to all of my social media sites. That's AUTHOR MSCLIFTON.
Perfect. So we will do your stuff toward the end, but remember, to be entered into this giveaway to win any of these prizes, you have to first comment in the comments, and I will enter you into the wheel of names. So head on over to Miss Patty Wiseman. Welcome, Patty.
Hello.
So can you tell us about your books and a little about you?
Well, tonight I'm giving away an autographed copy of Somewhere Between. It's my paranormal, and it's set in South Texas in the 1800s. And she's a governess, and she finds a ghost on the 3rd floor. And he's been murdered decades ago, and he's stuck in this room, and she finds him and tries to solve the mystery of how he is stuck there and why. And there's a little bit of a thread of romance through it between the ghost and his dead love, but it's basically paranormal. It's not a romance per se. It's more of a mystery.
I was going to say, I read it. It's a lot more of a mystery, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And it's a novella, so it's quicker to read than a novel. So this was my attempt at a novella, and it went off really big. So I had a lot of fun doing that. But I have Mike was talking about his series, and I have a 5-book series set in the 1920s, historical fiction, based on my grandmother and her arranged marriage, of which my dad was a product of that marriage. These are based on true facts, but because I made it a 5-book series, I had to stretch the truth a little bit. And she did have a brush with the mafia, and I wrote that into the series. And I also, in the last 2 books, wrote about the secondary characters because I got asked a lot about the secondary characters and what happened to them. And that's, An Unlikely Arrangement is the first book in the series, and it was supposed to be a one and done, a standalone. But I got such good feedback from that book and begging me to write another one. And then it went on from there to find out what happened to the secondary characters. And I have recently been teaching a class on how your secondary characters can turn into another novel, a whole new thing. And it's really true. If you write your secondary characters as carefully as you do your heroes and heroines. But so that's, and then I have 2 contemporary novels. That one, Moment, and that's set in, it starts out in Dallas, it ends up in the Rocky Mountains, and there's a grizzly bear involved. So I'll just tell you that. But that's contemporary. And then my other contemporary is Silver's Redemption. And I got asked a lot about writing for older women because everybody writes books about 20 and 30 years old, and the older ladies don't identify with that. So my character in Silver's Redemption is 56 years old, and she's replaced by a 20-something-year-old, and she in her job. And so she's devastated because she feels like she still has the looks and the ability to perform her job, but the powers that be wanted something with 36-inch tatas, you know what I mean? And stilettos. So she runs to West Texas and starts to renovate the ranch that her father left her, and he's passed away. And she has a mule named Joey, and it was really funny because so many people connected with the mule named Joey, and they told me, "You're not going to kill him off, are you?" And so when you put animals in there, people really love that. So and there is a romantic thread in that, but there's also an evil sheriff who wants to steal her silver mine. So there's a lot of mystery and suspense, a good connection with the mule, and just a good mystery. And then I have a children's book, which, like you said, CJ, it was kind of by accident that I wrote that because my dog saved 2 baby fox from drowning in our pond. And of course, I had to write another children's book, or write a children's book. And I've been waiting to write another one, but my dog hasn't done anything fantastic yet. So I haven't got another children's book going. And then I have a self-motivational book called Success Your Way. And it's really geared for people that think that life and their dreams have passed them by. And I kind of give self-motivational instruction on how to make your dreams come true, even though they got left in the dust somewhere, So I have a little bit of everything, and I'm writing, almost finished, with a fantasy book about an evil mermaid. And she is stealing souls in order to stay on shore instead of having to go back in the sea. And so I'm almost through with that. And I like to dabble in a little bit of everything. I don't
Gotcha.
stay in my lane.
That's okay. So how can people find you online?
I have a website, pattywiseman.com, and all over Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. I just joined TikTok, believe that or not. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't posted anything yet, but
I'm still figuring it out
I'm
myself.
watching. Yeah. So my son just fell over. He's 50 years old, and he said, "You're on TikTok, Mom?" I said, "I just joined it. Why not? You know?"
You can figure it out. It's all good.
I
You'll
know.
figure it
I
out.
just haven't had the time to do it. You know.
Mhm. No, it's fine. I figured out parts of it, but we'll figure it out as you go. So, do you have an online handle specifically for you, or?
I don't. You can type in my name anywhere, Patty Wiseman, and it'll pop up all over the place. So
Awesome.
just my website, pattywiseman.com.
Awesome. And you're going to be giving away a signed copy of Somewhere Between, with the book you were telling us
Yes,
about.
ma'am.
And all you have to do to enter is to comment. And then once you comment, I will put your name in the wheel of names and we'll spin it and you can win a prize tonight. So we're heading on to Miss Dana Wayne is next.
Well, hello, everybody. Mike, congratulations on this new book. I know it's going to be as successful as the others have been.
Thank you.
And I look forward to getting a copy of it when we meet next time.
Okay.
I am all about the romance. I write not your typical romance, but romance. They're heartwarming. I just did a romantic suspense, which is a lot more suspenseful than I've done before, just to see if I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And judging by the reviews, it was pretty successful. So I'm happy about that. And that's the detail, and that's what I'll be giving away tonight is a autographed copy of that. And I've had several awards lately. I have to brag, even though I don't like to do that.
No, brag away. I see it back there behind you. That's a big one. Brag away.
That Chasing Hope has won several awards, 2 international awards. One is the Best Indie Book Award for last year, and then just last week I found out that it placed 3rd in contemporary romance in Reader's Favorite. And I was just blown away when I saw that, but I was pretty excited about it. But I like to write romance. I like my characters to be people that the readers can relate to. I work really hard to develop the characters to the point that people, they just really get into it. And like Patty was saying about the secondary characters, all my books are standalone, but I've had so many people that want to hear the story of the secondary characters in my last 3 books. And I'm like, I've never really thought much about doing a series, but I may give it some thought next year. But for right now, I'm sticking to my standalones and my romances, and just when I get tired of writing or my muse leaves me alone and I can't write, then I'll go do my Christmas crafts. But the detail
Yours actually leave you alone. Mine never leaves me alone.
A writer's mind never sleeps. That's the problem, is that you're constantly, there's something going on all the time.
Well,
And
even when you're sleeping, it's trying to work out a plot line.
It is. I've woke up in the middle of the night more than once with the resolution to a scene in my head, and sometimes I have to get up and write it or it's gone.
Yeah, I have a Post-it note app on my phone that I use it for.
Well, I've tried doing that. I've tried recording and stuff, but that doesn't work for me. I have to go to the computer and put it down that way. Now I can plot the whole thing out, the whole scene in my head, and it'll stay there until I get to the computer. But if I start trying to jot things down, it breaks that thread and I lose it. So
Oh no.
I'm weird. I'm wired different. So
Yeah, that's all good.
I have to get to the computer. But I love what I do. I've been writing all my life, but I didn't publish my first book until 2016 after I retired. and I'm working on number 7 now, and I've done 2 cookbooks too. So, and I have a podcast that on writing and tips for writers and things like that. So it's called A Writer's Life, and I enjoy doing that too. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, how can people find you online?
They can on my website, danawayne.com. I also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that's Dana Wayne 423.
Awesome. Well, you're going to be giving away an autographed copy of The Detail. So, and in order to be entered into it, all you have to do is comment, and we'll add you to the Wheel of Names. So we're heading over to Mr. Michael Wigington.
Hello.
Come on down. The next contestant on The Author is Right.
Yeah. Yep. I'm Michael Wigington. I write fantasy, and I love epic fantasy. But I wanted to say, you know, if it wasn't for Michael Clifton, I probably wouldn't know how to sell books to people in person. You know, well, I got the honor we split a booth at the Longview Comic Con, and everybody that walked anywhere near our booth Mike would engage with them and just start talking to them, and then, you know, selling books. And so we kind of did a double team on all these people, and it really taught me, you know, he was so engaging and really good with these people. That dude is awesome. So I just kind of started emulating Mike, and then I'm selling books too. So we both sell books, and I don't know if I ever got to say thank you for that, but yeah, thank you. That was a good lesson in how to engage with people, because I'm highly introverted, and I would just sit at the booth and go, you know, nobody wants to talk to that.
I would honestly say probably about 99.9% of authors are introverts.
Yeah, but if you came anywhere near our booth, Mike was like, "Hey, do you read?" You know,
what are they going to say? No.
Right? Yeah.
I
Don't know how.
No.
But yeah, and then we worked at Tyler Comic Con, and it was the same thing. He just taught me a great lesson in how to be engaging. And, you know, Mike's one of the really good guys out there, and I just wanted to say thank you for that.
You bet.
Awesome. So what are you going to be giving away today?
I'm giving away a copy of a signed copy of The Bloodstone Reckoning, which is my novel.
Awesome.
It's the first novel in the Earth Mother series, saga series, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know if you were on when they asked about the second book, but I am like that close to finishing that rewrite. I mean, I can taste it. Hopefully I can finish it by like next week. I'm hoping, if I get in some good writing time, and then it'll go back to the editor, and then I want to have that published before the Tyler Comic Con.
Nice.
It's maybe a tall order, but I think we can do it.
Sure, buckle down on it. Not too much partying going on. So Mike's gonna be giving away an autographed copy of The Bloodstone Reckoning. So in order to win that, all I have to do is just comment and we'll enter you into the Wheel of Names. And you can win a lot of these fun prizes. Next up is Mr. Author Stone Key. Tell us about you, who you are, what you write, et cetera, how to find you. Oh, is that him or mine? Can you guys hear him?
There we go. Sorry.
There you go.
A little technical issue here, so sorry. My name's Stone Key. I'm probably kind of the junior author here, because since my first book was out in 2019, so I've only been publishing books for 4 years, but right now I have 5 books out, 2 in the works, and so hopefully by the end of the year I have 2 more out, plus my Foster Dog blog, which have been going on for a while now. But so I write mainly. I think that the term you used was magical realism or urban fantasy, or basically kind of magic and heaven and hell current day. So basically mixing real life with that fantasy life. And so my first series, The Modern Warlock, you know, my main character is Jason. He's an IT, which I just happen to be an IT. You know, he's kind of, you know, he's a little later in life. He's you know, he's got 2 kids, but his wife had disappeared 10 years earlier and been accused of he was actually accused of killing her, but they never found the body, so they had to release him. So he always had that you know, that desired, you know, feeling that he was magical, and basically he finds out later in life that he is, and he goes to Warlock isn't Warlock School. It's more like Warlock Boot Camp, where surviving each day is kind of a tall order. But then the series goes on. He's got his magical sidekick Bull, which is his big black dog, which just happens to mimic the one lying over near me here. So, and then I've got my Death's Arbiter series, and with Kai as the main character, he's he works for Death. He's kind of Death's right hand man. Sorting souls, killing wayward celestials. He's kind of a celestial playboy type of thing. And so the book kind of chronicles his work, battling to kind of balance the powers between heaven and hell and Armageddon. And so we just released book 2 about a month ago, and like I said, right now I'm working on the edits for book 3. And along with that, like I said, I have we've been fostering dogs for Dante's Hope here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana for quite a while. I think we've had about 25 dogs come through our house, and started realizing that these dogs had a tale to tell. And so started blogging, and I actually started putting on Kindle. And so I started kind of putting that out there, just kind of did it more to help kind of get the word out about all these dogs that need homes and foster, and even if they're foster homes. And in the meantime, I get to write and talk about myself and my exploits, which is something I love to do. So
very cool. So what's your next book coming out?
I'm hoping by the end of the year, Death's Arbiter book and the title's going to be called Death's Demon. That'll be out, and along with book 4 of Modern Warlock. I don't have a working title for it yet, but I'm hoping both of those will be out by the end of the year.
Awesome. And how can people find you online?
I'm on Facebook, stonekeybooks.net, which you probably see in the links there. You'll find me. I am a little bit on Instagram. I do have a TikTok account, haven't done anything with it, so I'm slowly getting myself out there. Also, I will be at the Louisiana Comic-Con in Lafayette the beginning of October, and of course the Louisiana Book Fair beginning of October in downtown Baton Rouge.
Awesome. Mike, I forgot to ask you, Mike Wigington, how do people find you online? I realized it when I asked him, but I forgot to ask you.
Oh, they can find me at my website, fantasyinmyveins.com, Michael Wigington, author, on Facebook. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm Michael Wigington, author, or author Mike Wigington. I have all the links to my social media are on my website at fantasyinmyveins.com.
Awesome. So I guess I'm next. I love doing that. So I'm PetersonWrites.com is how you find me online. I'm a multi-author, multi-genre, multi-award-winning author. So I've been published since 2012. I have 10 awards to my name. The most recent one was for book 1 of Appointed Time, which is a Sands of Time trilogy series. And that one I describe as Stranger Things minus the minus the Mind Flayer stuff meets X-Men. So it's a fun series. They're all out. I have a book launching next week, which some of the authors here today will be on as well. And that one is going to be Chain Reaction. It's a time travel book where this gentleman comes back in time, finds his great grandmother, and takes her back, and they decide to fix their family line. So it's a reverse butterfly effect. They're purposely changing their family line because by the time it gets to him, he's the last one in the family line. So they need to make some serious changes. So that's coming out on the 13th. You can get it on pre-order right now. Just head over to my website for it. I also have other series out. I have what I call the Team Angel series. That is the standalone Strength from Within. It includes a 5-book series, Grace Restored series. It includes the Holy Flame trilogy, and it includes a 4-book series, the Divine Legacy series. And in that book, talk about secondary characters. The characters actually cross over storylines within all 4 series. So it gets all sorts of fun. There's also a Christmas Angels that wraps up the entire series. At the end, it's a novella and has a little bonus story on it. I'm in 3 anthologies, Texas Sisters Press's 'Tis the Season holiday anthologies for 2020, 2021, and I will be in 2022. So it's launching in November 3rd, I believe. And then I have, what else do I have? I think that might be it. And then I have 2 children's books, Chief and Sarge. They're cute little stuffed animals that we literally take on trips, and you can see the places that we've taken them, people that they've met, and we're converting their stories into children's books. So the first one is Cruising, where I took them on a ship, and they got to meet lots of people. People who even were part of the crew got to be in the book. And then the second one was A Day in the Races, a lesson in friendship. And Sarge learned a very hard lesson. Unfortunately, it also cost Chief to do it. So that one is actually, I'm very proud to say, an international award winner. It won the Purple Dragonfly Award, so I'm pretty excited on that one. But like I said, I've won 10 of them, and so I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna brag because that's cool. Anyway, one of them that just won is actually Appointed Time. So that's part of the series that I am maybe giving away, maybe. So they're these guys, and yeah, it's lots of fun. So you can find me online at cjpetersonwrites.com or my online handle pretty much anywhere. And if you go to my website, I'm not joking, all the links are on there. CJ Peterson or at authoress_CJ. You can find me anywhere. So that's me in a nutshell. Mr. Mike, back to the star of the show. So what is next for you?
As far as book writing, well, I have never had a problem with, and I've talked with other folks about this, never had a problem with my imagination. So I coach basketball. So I've got a sort of a basketball book in mind. I did that 21 years when I was in public education. I was a teacher and a coach. And another book I have that I've started, which I may do next because I've already written enough, about a third of it. The name of the book is Pringle Prawn, Prawn. And it's about a forest fairy that meets a guy that meets a college professor who teaches a class in myths and legends, and who happens upon a gate to another world where he finds the forest prawn, and she falls in love with him, and of course that's as far as I've gotten so far. So on that one, another one is I thought about is another standalone book, which is called The January Man. It's about a man who doesn't believe in love. He thinks that love is not something that is genuine or real. So he gets a girlfriend every year, gets her to fall in love with him, and at the stroke of midnight on New Year's, he dumps her every year and starts over. But he
how rude!
And but his fairy godmother catches wind of that, runs afoul of it, and she and he don't see eye to eye. And you shouldn't. The moral of that book is going to be: don't make your fairy godmother angry. And
that's probably not a wise.
I like that tagline.
That's cute. I like that.
And then let's see, what's the last? I had another one. I watched that series. It wasn't very good, about the Templars, and the Crusades and stuff. They had it on History Channel or something. Anyway, I'm thinking about, and Mike and Gary, y'all will appreciate this. I'm thinking about having this alternate world Templars that battle vampires. Okay, they're
supported all of us. It looks like.
They're knights that have supernatural powers. They're the only ones that can really battle vampires, and they're the ones that try to keep the peace and try to keep the vampires from slaughtering everybody. So, but that's as far as I've got in it. So now I haven't copyrighted any of those ideas yet. So just
well, technically you're on here, so technically you did.
Okay.
You can point back to it and say, "Nope, that was my idea."
Yeah, I am gonna be at the Arkansas Comic Con this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It'll be at Little Rock at the Hyatt Regency Convention Center there, Did that last year. It's a great venue.
Are you
And
going to have new books with you?
yes, we'll have all the Cavern of the Veil books with me. So I'll have the complete series for the first time. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to give kudos to Patty for encouraging me back in the day when I decided that I couldn't write because of a tough critique, and I'll just leave it at that. And I saw Patty and Nancy at the Deck the Halls event. I don't even know when that was. Was it Patty 7 years ago? 8? I don't
About
remember
7
now.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she kind of gave me the encouragement to give it another try. And and I literally mean this, had I not run into her and her and Nancy both, I probably wouldn't have written. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have written anything. So I'm very,
And
very
look
grateful.
at you now.
I know, right? He's
Yeah.
a multi-award winning author
Yeah.
too, even though he has not mentioned it yet.
Well, I just think there's still people out there that encouragement sometimes is what's the missing ingredient.
Mhm.
Just
Right.
encourage people.
Well, and there's such thing as destructive criticism and constructive criticism. There's a huge difference
Absolutely.
between the two.
Absolutely.
And I always go with the compliment sandwich. You did this good. You did this good. You may need to work on this. This is how I suggest you do so. And then you did that good.
The thing that I know is, like all of us here, it's apples and oranges. None of us write the same as anyone else. And
Right.
so why is it a competition? Why do people want to tear everybody down? It's apples and oranges. We write everything differently, and we should encourage one another.
That's right.
I've always gone with that theory because to me, I figure we're all in this together as authors. I don't write, my audience doesn't reach, say, Dana's, or
Right.
Mike doesn't reach Stone's, or yours doesn't reach Mike's. It's like there's an audience for somebody for each one. So just, encourage everybody to get it all out there. And it's starting to be a dying art. And it pains me to say that. Actually, reading is starting to be a dying art, and it's just brutal. So to me, I would rather just make sure that everybody is encouraged and gets a chance to read because they can do the movie in their own right.
Goes a long way.
Not a remake.
Yeah. Pat on the back goes a long way.
So what I have really quickly is I have Mike's website up, and for those interested in the Conquest of the Veil series, let me know when it pops up because I can't see it.
It's there.
Awesome. So you would just go to his website and you click on the books, and each one, as you can see, has a standalone Conquest of the Veil and the Edison Jones Adventures. You click on Conquest of the Veil, and you scroll down, and you have all 4 of the covers here, which look amazing. Your cover artist was awesome. And it has each one, the Open Portal, it has the Escape from Wheel, it has a Witch's Brew, and then Conquest of the Veil. So you can get all the links there. So you can feel free to find those regardless if you want paperbacks or ebooks. And also he has 2 books that are currently on audiobook. They are The Janus Witch and The Treasure Hunt Club. So last minute words for Michael Scott Clifton, as well as your website. Start with Patty.
Patty.
I've read The Janus Witch, and I loved it. And I've read The Treasure Hunt Club, and I loved it. And I can't wait to read your newest book. I haven't read the series, but if they're anything like your other books, they're wonderful. And congratulations. And I'm pattywiseman.com. Just go find me.
Awesome. Ms. Dana?
Well, I read The Janus Witch, and I was just blown away with it. And I've read 2 others. I read The Treasure Hunt Club and then the Edison Jones. And Mike just fascinates me. He's just such a gifted writer. And I'm just so happy that he's had the success that he has. And congratulations to you. And best of luck on lots more book launches down the road. And I'm danawayne.com.
Awesome. Mr. Mike Williamson?
Congratulations, Mike. That's a big achievement writing a series and getting all the books in. It really is. It's huge. And I've read the Janus Witch. It's a wonderful book. I loved all the East Texas references in there and the fun stuff with the, I want to give it away, but the witch hunter and stuff. It was a totally fun book. And you can find me at fantasyinmyveins.com. And thank y'all for having me.
Awesome. Stone?
Congrats, Mike. I'm in a critique group with Mike, so I've been able to see his book from chapter 1 all the way through and the way it's developed. And I've loved the book and enjoyed reading it. And once again, yeah, congrats on getting that fourth and final book out there. I'm a couple behind you, and I'm looking forward to catching up to you on that one. So you can reach me on stonekeyBooks.net, or of course on Amazon, Facebook, and all that. So, and thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Mike, as a fellow co-host on Book World: The Great Escape, I want to say I am proud to be your co-host, and I read all 4 of the Conquest of the Veil series, and it is amazing. I don't think I can say enough about it. But hey, you can find out tomorrow on Shelf Life Blog when his blog tour starts with Lone Star Literary Life. And he'll have 10 days of blog hopping, so you can find out other people's opinions of him as well. But make sure you pick up this series because it is incredible. Mike, am I wrong? Is Open Portal on Kindle for 99 cents right now?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And,
so you can start out the series with a bang.
Yep.
So I'm super proud of you. Congratulations. You can find me on cjpetersonwrites.com. So thank you guys all for joining us, and we will catch you next week. We'll catch you tomorrow on Book World: The Great Escape, but next week will be my book launch, same time, on Facebook, YouTube, my YouTube, and on LinkedIn. So until then, Mike, congratulations. We're super excited for you.
Thank you.